Hello, everyone. Welcome to our episode of It's Me, Not You. Hello, Melissa.
Hello.
Hello, Jake.
Hello.
Oh, so on today's episode, we are going to be talking about our favorite Oracle card decks, our favorite tarot card decks, maybe some decks that we started with, and some decks that we're currently using. I am going to start with Jake. So, Jake, show us some decks maybe that you're using now, or some decks that you would recommend for somebody to use, or anything you like.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I have to get it's certainly not a beginner deck by any means, but I do have to get my favorite deck out of the way. So it is called the Tarot of Vampires. It was created by Ian Daniels. I have had this deck probably for 10 years now. Um, I really so love it because I've had this deck for 10 years and I still feel like I learn new things every single day from it. Um, it's really, oh, my light just died. Oh my God.
I told you.
Okay, perfect.
The vampires came in, and
Yes, the vampires came in.
can you show us the picture of the deck? Do you actually have the box of it, or maybe?
Oh my God.
I told you we're going to get
Speaking.
messed with by spirit today. This is going to be a very interesting.
Stop.
I guess they don't like that one.
Oh my
Show
gosh.
the neck.
You know what we're gonna do? You know what? I don't know what to do. Melissa, why don't you show us one of your decks that you like to use, and then we're gonna go back to the tarot vampires. You know, I'm gonna show one of my decks.
No, I can't.
Okay.
All right, so I'll
We're
start
doing
off with a very easy one then. So this is a deck. This is a deck that I use that is a daily deck. It's a blessing and divination card. It's the Namaste.
I love it.
So let me just pick one to show it as an example.
That'd be perfect.
While Jake calms down the tribe in the background.
Fucking Christ.
I didn't like that.
Please show us the card for the Namaste deck, please.
So here's what a card looks like.
It's so pretty. Yeah.
So, and if you're somebody that can really use your soft eye when you're seeing with oracle cards, so for me, when I look at a card, it's not just looking at the picture and what's written. I also will stare at the images and see what other images come to mind that may or may not really be with the card.
Yeah.
So for me, oracle cards are gateways into symbolism. And this one says, a blessed new beginning, a series of serendipitous events guides you to a renewed sense of clarity and purpose. Release all that no longer serves you. The past is behind you. Bless it and let it go. Your life is an eternal new beginning moving through time.
I like that. Very nice. And that's a daily deck that you might use, like if you're like every day you might pull a card.
Yeah, because it's really more about what's my blessing for today? What can I focus on today? And I like this one for others because it's not centered on any pantheon or it's really universal with this message.
I do like affirmation cards. I think they're really awesome to use. One of the first decks that I started with, I took the Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine Oracle card reading class. And so you got a lot of decks from them. And so I really like my Archangel Oracle cards, which I'm not sure if you can really buy these anymore just because of Doreen's.
Oh my God. You can try to find them on eBay. Some of them are like $300, some of them are like 10.
Yeah, I think
but Valentine, if he
now has his own decks. He's rebranded
with
them.
his images. So,
yeah, he's rebranded them. And I really like these decks. I felt like they were really easy to use. They were kind of just very like quick and simple. Like here's passion. So Archangel Haniel, trust and follow your renewed passion in your love life and career. I just really like that they're nice, simple messages. And I really do enjoy this deck. I'm not sure about you guys, but I'm gonna ask you this question. I have for me, when I'm picking on a deck and when I like to use a deck, I get really weird about like the feeling of the card stock, the way that it shuffles together, the size of it, you know, if they get like, it's just I get really like on the texture of the feeling of it. How do you guys get the same way?
100%. I'm such a nerd for like just the way it shuffles, the finish of the deck. I really like a kind of those matte, kind of velvety
Yes.
finished cards. But I also really like decks that are like larger because I've got these big old claws. So larger decks just kind of work a little bit nicer for me.
Yeah.
The little ones I'll just fumble around with my, hooks. Um
Do you want to go back to the tarot vampires?
yes, yes. Now that the light has been figured out and
We'll see.
taken care of. Yes. So, okay, back to the Tarot Vampire. So, this is a really awesome deck that I really love just because the guidebook alone was really completely worth purchasing the deck, and going down this whole rabbit hole. So, even if you were to not even own the deck, if you didn't prefer vampire imagery, it gets all into like the Kabbalah, life paths, figuring out, where you stand and everything, what your stories are, some of your karmic connections, all that good stuff. So even if you didn't want to own the deck, maybe if the visuals weren't preferable to you, you could so totally live such a thriving tarot practice just off of the guidebook. And the guidebook is called Phantasmagoria. It comes with the deck when you purchase. So for everybody that can see, this is the beautiful backing with a red rose right here. I'm so obsessed, and this is just some of the images. And
Back it
I
up a
just
little bit. Back it up a little bit. It's blurry.
back it up. Okay, hold on. How about that?
Back it up.
Back it up.
Back it up.
They will
No, it's
not
not.
let
They will. It will not
Okay.
focus.
Well, you know what?
I'm done.
You're always trying to blur my camera, turn off my lights, make me feel bad.
It's your forehead and see, like,
yeah. Put it on your forehead.
your third eye. Let your third eye shine.
Please.
Oh my! There
show
you
them.
go.
It
We can see
works.
it. About time. I'm just kidding.
Screaming.
Protection of the third eye.
So yeah, I really love this deck, but I will just say that it's not a deck that I use every single day. I use it kind of like almost ceremoniously, like monthly or every couple of months. They go big or go home. So it's definitely not for the faint of heart, but it's definitely for the people that are interested in exploring the truth.
Nice.
Show the imagery again. I really want to see it.
Yes. Okay. So
Yes.
this is the Nine of Pentacles. Is that working?
That's
Yeah.
gorgeous. It is.
It's really pretty.
It really
so pretty.
is stunning. And then there, of course, are some of the more spookier cards. I think that's so they're really interesting. And it really just kind of interweaves the story of the vampires and how that, that notion of immortality is really connected to the human spiritual experience. And how we can kind of lean into that vampire energy to experience sensuality, experience personal fulfillment, enlightenment, even all kinds of really juicy, beautiful stuff. So anybody that feels drawn to the imagery or anybody that feels like that's pulling at them, I so endorse it.
Nice.
Yeah, I love it. It's so near and dear to my heart. I don't want to nerd out.
Melissa, show us another deck that you either are currently using or a deck that you would recommend for others to pick up.
So I'm going to show you, there's kind of two decks. I'll show you the one and then the other later, but there are two decks that I don't use for everyone because it can be, hard to get images if you're used to more of the Doreen decks. I mean, I have a lot of those too, which I have your deck and I almost grabbed it. And then they said, don't, Rachel has that one. So
no. I have so many decks. I have over 60. I think you guys probably, how many decks do you think you have? But show us first, then we'll go.
How many? No, we can do that first. Like, I don't know, 30, 40. You probably 120.
I definitely have well over 60 decks. But
Yeah.
only because to be very transparent is that in my group I do weekly readings and I don't like to do the same deck over and over and over again, and I like to have variety. And Miss Melissa introduced me to the little small decks.
Oh, I love those.
I love these, and they're really I don't have big claws like Jake, and I I love these decks. I mean, honestly, and they're relatively inexpensive. They're like
Do you have the magic
$12.
one?
Yeah.
Oh,
This one
Oh
you
my.
showed me. So I got introduced to when I first met Melissa, one of the first times I came over to her house, she showed me this making magic deck cards, and I love them, and they're awesome. And I like that they have a little nice clasp, like they have nice pictures on the back of them. They're just a nice deck of cards. So I love it. Go ahead, Melissa, show us your deck.
So I really like the Druid
Oh yeah,
Plant
you like that one.
Oracle. And there is the Druid Animal Oracle as well. But I like
Ooh.
plants. So if you know me, I do a lot with my herbs. And I do think that nature is the ultimate teacher of things. And I really think it connects, to my heritage and as well as the things I'm passionate about, like nature. Let me just pull a card. And there's so much symbolism in plants. There's healing messages. There is, messages about perseverance or comfort or, drinking the tea is a way that you can then work with the plant. Of course, as long as it's not poisonous, because some of that's in here too. Maybe you can serve it to your friends.
Maybe
Hey.
your enemies.
Right? So as I pull Mandrake.
Oh.
See, but there's so much color. They're just so pretty.
It's really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like you said earlier, having a soft eye, because it may not be the actual meaning of the card that's coming forward for you as the message. There could be something else that pops out at you that you're like, oh, this is what I need.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you'll just look at a card and you'll be like, whatever that meaning is, but then you'll be more pulled towards like the visual or an aspect of the card that's just like, oh no, we're really pulling at this today.
I love that. What about for you, Jake? What other decks do you have?
Yeah, okay, so I also would be nothing if I did not shout out one of my favorite authors for Oracle decks. Lucy Cavendish is a wonderful witch that's been making decks for years. I really love her Wonderland Oracle, which is inspired by the Alice in Wonderland series, which is definitely a series that or book series that I really loved growing up. And I definitely blame it for all of the spooky and intuitive quirks that I have today. But I also definitely think that Alice in Wonderland is such a beautiful story that can really explore a lot of the human experience and a lot of the psyche in a lot of different ways. So I really was so enthralled when she created this deck, but the visuals are just so stunning. So I use this deck in times of transition for people. So a lot of times during this time of year of spring into summer, when people are really kind of feeling that wheel turn and that they've grown and that they have woken up from that winter slumber and they feel like they're a different person, or all of a sudden in times of radical change, you feel differently than you once were. So how to kind of reacclimate to that, or how do I foster that change and how do I kind of integrate myself into that? So these are always so stunning.
Oh, those are so pretty.
Oh,
and those are like almost like holographic cards, aren't they?
No, it's just
Not
like
those?
the way
Okay.
that they're painted are
Okay.
just
Oh, I love that. Okay, nice.
yes. So really stunning. She's got multiple decks just like this. I would say my very first one was the Oracle of Shadows and Light, and that is a beautiful deck for anybody that is grieving relationships, grieving personal boundaries, all of that good stuff.
Nice.
Anybody that needs to tap into that angsty teenager, really a gorgeous one.
Love it. Melissa, what's another one for you?
as I'm like,
I have I really like Tasha Silver. She's a author and she really talks about like kind of changing your mindset and changing your thoughts. And she has like these cards. There's the Wild Offering and then there's Divine Abundance. She wrote a really good money mindset book about like it's not your money and about how to like really tap into the energy of receiving. And I like these cards because it's like you can just pick up, and I really like the artistry of it. Like, and like, look how nice that is.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, and they're just really nice. And I like the fact that I can just read it and say, and it's like a little prayer that you can say, like, I'm finally ready, God, pursue me. And it's just, I like something with a little bit of an action step on it. Like, just tell me what to do.
Give it to me straight, boys.
Just give it to me. Like, just tell me what is it that I need to do? And then like the Wild Offering is kind of like the same thing, This one's a little different. So travel, because we all know Melissa's going to Scotland. So here's travel, you know, and it just says, let every aspect of this trip unfold in harmony, and just get kind of just made all arrange in divine help. Like it's a nice little prayer. Like I'm looking for a little oomph maybe in the day, and something that, you know, because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the energy right now is it's heavy, and it is feeling like a little like, oh, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing, you know? So I'll pull out one of these decks, and then it'll help me, you know. How about for you, Melissa?
So, I mean, I have the Druid animal counterpart, which, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
goes along with my symbolism of animals, power animals, looking for messages throughout the day. But another book that I really like is this tarot deck.
Ooh, look at that. Now, let me ask you both these, because you guys both use tarot cards. Do you prefer tarot cards over oracle cards, or it really doesn't matter? It's whatever you're called to for the day.
You know what? It's really about I connect with the spirit of the decks, and honestly, I find that it's just more or less what you're looking for is the more relevant one. Sometimes what I will sit down and get into with tarot, I could also lean into with an oracle deck that really feels appropriate, you know.
Gotcha.
I really think that it's just easier to kind of take a look at, okay, what different characters or personalities do you have in front of you, whether that's either or system, and just kind of ask yourself, you know, like, which do I need right now?
Yeah, I like that. How about for you, Melissa?
So for me, there are some who will cringe, but I don't use the tarot like it's a tarot deck.
I love it. No, it's
I
it's
like
your
the
answer.
pictures.
Uh-huh.
So here's one of my things. I don't want at this point to know how all the cards work, because I know, like, if you pick one, but and then if you have some other ones with it, it like enhances or changes the meaning a little bit. Because when I go to get my own readings, if someone has a tarot deck, I don't want to be like, ooh, I'm gonna figure all this out and then have this.
You're
I can't help
hijacking your own
myself.
reading.
I do. I hijack. I can't help it. If you use a deck, I'll be like, oh crap. And so I purposely have not learned it. So I cannot do that and sabotage my own. But the thing is, I can't help it. I
Grab
could,
another
I
deck.
suppose, but so the thing I like about this is I do like the photos a lot. You know, like I just think the Eight of Swords is so pretty.
Ooh, look at that one.
Yeah, I hear wonderful
You
things about the
know,
Witch's Tarot.
What is
and
that one? The
there's
Witch's Tarot?
yeah, and there's
Okay.
so much more expanded meaning. You know, it doesn't take away from the original symbolism that's in the deck. But and I also think it's one of the more diverse cards. Like, look, Three of Pentacles. It's just so pretty.
Oh wow, that's really nice.
Oh, I love the glass in the background.
Right? So there's, I don't know. For me, and the cat, look at that cat. The cat with the blue eyes that's like chilling in the back.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So,
That's
which is crazy. I had a black cat show up at the house the other day. But yeah, I like these because of the expanded meaning. I also like the tarot because it tells a story. You know, it's about the journey, but it's really the summation of a life's journey. And at some point, we're going through every aspect of this journey. And hero's journey, whether you're Joseph Campbell or whatever it may be, but I do think that this can really tell a story with all of the cards as you lay out. Whereas an oracle deck, you know, you can pick one and you kind of have your message. But I think if you pick one tarot, you're kind of missing some of the story. So I usually like to pick a couple with this deck. And then I like to like read the images and then check myself and, you know, see how I am.
So one of the questions that I've been asked, I'm sure you guys have been asked this too, was that there is a thought that you should not buy an oracle deck or a tarot card deck. You should be given it. Which by Jake rolling his eyes, he doesn't believe in that. And I will say I also don't, but I will say like over 20 years ago, when I first was introduced to this, well over, gosh, 25 years, 30 years ago, I was told that. And at the beginning, I was like, oh no. And then I'm like, well, how do I get a deck? Like someone just was mostly gonna walk up to me like, here you go, Rachel. Like, like she will. But you know what I mean? Like, is that something that you guys subscribe to, or do you just think it's a different day and age now?
I'm not sure where exactly that one came from particularly, but I mean, I always joked with people when I was kind of like started getting reading, or even now today when people want to get started. Like, if I was sitting around waiting for somebody to gift me my first tarot deck, I wouldn't be where I am today. You know what I mean?
It'd be like
So
giving your first crystal, like, or your
right.
first essential oil, like.
Am I just gonna walk the streets and wait for a cloaked woman to hand me a deck? You know,
Oh, Jake.
We should just do that. We should just
Oh my gosh, yes.
hand some stuff
Can we
out.
just walk downtown Albany, like, and be like, hey, wanna deck?
we have to bring back the kitschiness of a cloaked woman traveling through a town by town, giving good omens, a tarot deck, a crystal.
I love that.
I mean,
I'm
come
writing
on.
that down. I'm like, cloaked woman. Melissa, remember when we went to that fair, the Scottish fair, and I think remember they had those cloaks?
Yes.
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 That was a sign.
It's all coming together now.
It's all coming together. How about for you, Melissa? Is that something that you subscribe to, or
I
not
was
necessarily?
actually given my first deck, believe it or not.
Of course.
But I didn't even know what to do with them at the time. So I think me getting it, like, I was just, okay, so there's pictures and this is fun. And, you know, it was a party game at the time because I didn't know what I was capable of. So I think it was a way of getting the messages into me. But one of the things that I will do when I get a deck, or before I buy a deck, is they usually have like the samples to play with in the store.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say play because there is a lot of ceremony to it, but there's fun too. So so I will clear the deck with my Reiki, and then, you know, I will shuffle through and I pick one card. And if that one card has profound meaning to me, then I know that this is a deck for me. And then when I get the deck home, my deck, you know, I cleanse it and everything, I will shuffle and say, I want a significant card. And then whenever I pull that card during a session, you know, I'll pull the rest, but that card is just like, hey, really pay attention to what you're about to pull.
Mm-hmm. And even if you have access to like decks that are wide open, like sometimes Reiki Rocks, like Tony will have them, a sample deck that you can open. You can always just, you know, you can always shuffle it and ask, you know, pull a card for what this deck can do for me or what it can offer to me to kind of, you know, speed date the personality. Also, for anybody listening, I don't know if I've recommended it before, but if anybody, oh yes, hello, this is my little Chise Badise. She is getting in on the card energy today. So anybody that's interested in starting card work, I would definitely always recommend either Tarot 101 by Kim Higgins or Huggins, or Psychic Tarot by Nancy Antonucci. Really
can you
good.
say that one more time to both those decks?
Tarot 101. It's a blue workbook, and that is made by Kim Higgins.
Okay.
And then Psychic Tarot by Nancy Antonucci. Both can be found on Amazon. I think the Tarot 101 is maybe like $17. It's a big workbook, but really good one. Work at your own pace, and it really kind of gives you a nice understanding, one, of the system. And then Psychic Tarot is just really good about how to tap in intuitively and learn how to get comfortable just kind of interpreting cards outside of a meaning. That one is also really awesome too.
Nice. So any other advice, Melissa, that you want to give just for, you know, if somebody's looking to maybe pick up an Oracle deck or tarot card deck to wrap up this episode?
Don't have expectations. You know, really go in open-minded, because we kind of have, you know, the way the card feels is really important, but design on it. I mean, you turned me on to the Campbell, I think it's Campbell, right? The Rose, Rebecca Campbell's decks.
Oh yeah, she's got good.
So not really imagery like I would go for, but they're
she does a lot of that activations in her cards.
Yeah,
I feel like
they're fun.
And I think like with that same thing is go to see what you're drawn to, you know, and maybe you want to pick up the Tarot Vampires, or maybe you want to pick up the, you know, the Druid Plant Oracle cards. Like, it's interesting that three of us read cards and we read three very different types of cards. Like the imagery that, you know, makes us excited inside is very different.
Yeah.
And I find that quite fascinating, you know. Anything else, Jake, you want to add in?
Yeah, I mean, I just say, like, when I work with my cards, I really do approach all of them as these like groups of personalities. They're these friend groups, very alive and conscious ones. So,
Yeah.
I mean, a deck that you work with today might be one that you put down for several months until it's
Yeah.
time
Or
again, you
years.
know? Yes, and that's totally okay. And they
Yeah.
completely understand that too. But always just listen to that feeling that you have in your gut, even when you're at, let's say, Barnes and Noble, or you're at, a shop in a big city and you can't open up any of the decks. Hold
Yeah.
it for a minute and just kind of sit with that. Feel in your gut, is this the one that's right for me? Kind of feel like if you're meeting a friend for the first time, and ask yourself, is this somebody that I'm going to jive with or not?
Nice.
Because it really has to be that kind of relationship, a trusting one like that.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting in. It's getting into your subconscious. It's getting into, working with your higher self and your guides and your
Yeah.
team, and the messages that can come across are actually quite profound. If you just
Hmm.
kind of want
So
to deep into
how, here's another question you get a lot,
Sure.
but how do you feel about people touching the card?
Oh, I
Um,
depends
Honestly,
on. Go ahead, Jack. Jake.
I feel like I ebb and flow with that one. Sometimes it's just, I think, quicker sometimes for me to just shuffle. But other times, if I feel guided to, or if maybe it's somebody's first experience with a deck, or maybe I don't know. I feel like it's more like kind of based on the mood or the temperature of the room.
Yeah.
When I'm doing professionally, I think I just kind of pull them myself. But if I'm doing something a little bit more laid back, I do like to have people pull the cards, because I just think it's really fun to show people,
Mm,
you're pulling cards that are based on your energy, based on your team, that are rooting for you. So it's not just me, playing a card trick to find the most relevant one.
yeah. I kind of agree with you. I think it depends on the moment. And it
Hmm.
depends on what you're doing. I know that the three of us know how to cleanse our cards very quickly.
Hmm.
So I do think if somebody kind of handles the cards, I can cleanse them. But it also, like, as you say that, I also think about my crystals, because there's some crystals that I don't want, I only want just me to touch,
Hmm.
but if there's somebody that, like, for example, like I have some crystals that I treasure that, I'll be like, here, Melissa, hold this. It just
And then I want
depends.
to take it home, but I didn't.
It's this one, guys. Is it this one?
Love
No,
that.
it's this one. This one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. It's a smoky quartz.
It's one of those. I can't say the word. That SHAANG amethyst. Amethyst.
Shungite?
No, it's a type of amethyst. It's a
Oh,
SHAANG, like Sean. I don't know what it is. You know who can
all
say it?
right.
Is Tony. But no, I agree with you. I think that's. How about for you, Melissa?
So for me, I have, my Druid decks I don't bring out. I have a different bag with decks that I take more when I'm doing public things. And what I have learned to do guided to do, is I take a little piece of paper towel and I'll put an essential oil on it. That's either clearing or it's specific to the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way those cards stay energized and cleared. Because when I started, I would sage each card and I'm like, okay, I have 6 decks. This takes 2 hours. I can't keep doing this.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Hmm.
That's a lot. Well, I thank you all so much for listening to another episode of It's Me, Not You. If you guys are listening, comment below on maybe some of your favorite decks and what decks that you really recommend for other people. So everyone, have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.